of questions that we have, right? First one being teams who will overachieve. Who are the teams who will overachieve in the Big Ten Conference? I gave what I think are 3 good examples here. One is Minnesota, and a lot of this comes from win totals, for which we got from Fox Bet, But the reason I put Minnesota on this list is they're listed at 7.5 right now. That means they got to win 8 for you to get your money. And I'm here trying to get you your money. Like, we don't like to say it too loud, and I certainly don't like to say it too loud because then it's the only thing I get to talk about. But I'm pretty good at picking winners. Okay? I watch a lot of college football. I read a lot of college football. I stay up on injury news. I understand whose offensive line is good. I understand whose offensive line is trash. I'm also partial to winning. I think Minnesota winning 8 games is on the table because you look at this non-conference schedule. My goodness, man, you got New Mexico State, who just signs up to get their butts kicked. Like, honestly, it ain't even no money in the bag situation with New Mexico State. They just gonna take your money. Like, hey, cool, we gonna get beat down and we gonna get our money. We gonna keep trying to build our football program. I understand that. Then you got Western Illinois, the Catamounts. Now, I'm the type of dude that knows that Western Illinois is the Catamounts because I'm that college football dude. But you didn't know that, and you don't even know where in Illinois Western Illinois is. Matter of fact, you probably look at me like Uncle Elroy and say Western. It's in the west of Illinois, you know, like how you spell Versace, you know, Sachi. That's how you spell it. Y'all need to go watch next Friday. I'm not going to catch you up on that. I might get in trouble. Anyway, and then you got, I think to finish this out, this non-conference slate, Colorado. I love Robert Barnes. I love Carl Durrell. I like talking to him. But unless you got a quarterback back there that I can trust to complete passes, that's going to be tough because Minnesota's going to come out here trying to take your head off, and then they're just going to run the football on you. Come to think of it, off the top of my head, Colorado got Texas Christian and Minnesota on the schedule. I wouldn't have done that because if I beat them, I don't think many people care. If I lose to them, my base, my home fans are going to be the people coming after me. Like, that's... Put Alabama on it, you know, put Ohio State on it. Don't put Texas Christian on it. Like, if you lose Texas Christian, that's just not a good look for anybody. That's just not, right? I don't know that I would have done that for a non-conference. But I think they win all 3 of those games, and then all you got to do is win 5 among your Big Ten schedule. That's doable for a place like Minnesota. And think about that for a second. P.J. Fleck is becoming for Minnesota what Mike Gundy is for Oklahoma State. Synonymous with winning and putting together some of the most memorable years and memorable run in program history. That is a nice place to be rowing the boat, okay? To say nothing of, you saw me, I was had my grown man on at media days. Only dude that's keeping up with me was PJ Fleck. Respect. Not everybody can pull off loafers without socks, but PJ could do that. I'm just letting y'all know. I know this. Game recognized game. What I'm saying. All right, next team I put on this list that I think will overachieve. Purdue! Shout out to my man Rago. Look, it's not just because Rago's my man, it's also because Purdue's really good. Like we've been doing this for like 4 years now, basically since the Boilermakers running their train over the Bucknuts with Rondale Moore absolutely toasted people. Yeah. Jeff Brom wants to throw the ball around. Gonna throw the ball around. There's no 3-quarterback system this year. There's the Aiden O'Connell quarterback situation this year. And the system, I gotta say this, man, like, if Aiden O'Connell puts together a season, and by season I mean he goes for 37, 4,000, 30, 40 touchdowns, that man needs to win the Burlsworth Award. Do you realize he walked on at Purdue? Do you realize he's like the 9th dude on the depth chart at Purdue? And now everybody's praying for that dude to return after what they did to Tennessee, and he gave you that? You know? I don't know that you're going to find another Rondale Moore or even another David Bell, both of which are outstanding wide receivers, All-Americans. However, somebody over there could play. Maybe it's Brock Thompson. We'll find out. You add Tyrone Tracy from Iowa, really great tailback. It's going to shore up a run game that wasn't great. And then just keep a lid on the defense. You keep a lid on the defense at Purdue, you're going to win more than you lose. You can put together another one of these magical years. There's never been an 11-win season in Purdue history. I would like to see it. Going back to, would the Big Ten West get a college football playoff selector? Go run it up, Purdue. Go run it up, Boilermakers. Make West Lafayette, Rose Ada, that kind of place that nobody wants to come to. You can do that. I believe in you. I believe on you. I know the folks down in South Bend don't believe in you. I know the folks in Bloomington don't believe in you, but I believe in you. I think you can get this done. I think you can get this had. All right, so their non-conference looks like this with got to get over 8 wins. Indiana State, yeah, okay, don't lose to the Sycamores. At Syracuse, which I think is sneaky good. That's a sneaky good football game. Like, they got Robert Ernai, who's going to be calling plays. He's coming from Virginia. They were pretty doggone good last year, Virginia. And we know that Dino Babers runs that Baylor-style system, and they got one of the best and most slept-on backs in all of college football. We get into that in another discussion when we talk ACC. I'm going to give you every bit of that cues, and we're going to talk about slept-on players. They got a ton of slept-on players over there in the ACC because, well, we haven't been paying attention to anybody outside of Clemson. That's not our fault. They just need to step up and go beat them some Clemson. All right, and then to finish out, you got Florida Atlantic. Fine. I think you end up at worst 2-1 with that schedule, with that non-conference schedule. Then you got to win off 5-6 wins in the Big Ten. And you play a mostly Big Ten West schedule. You can do that. That's on the table for you. Okay? Last program I want to mention here. Rutgers, I'm going to shout you out. Don't do me dirty now. Don't do me dirty because I shouted you out last year. I gave you run last year. I had Ben Verlander, friend of the show, right? Homie, Ben understands. We knuckle up. But I had the homie Ben coming on the Spaces with my man Jeff calling me out, talking about, hey, RJ, you really going to tell me you think Rutgers can go beat Michigan? Is that what you're going to do? I'm like, yeah, I think they can. What y'all do? What do y'all do? Y'all got this close. You got finish. Isn't that what everybody puts on a helmet? Isn't that what your fourth quarter slogan is? When you throw your fours up, finish. That's all I'm saying, Rutgers. I want you to be great. I want Piscataway. I want y'all to be great. I know that you one of the first college football teams. You've been playing this sport for the entirety of the sport. You helped create the sport. Why you got to be one of the worst teams in the Power 5, man? Now, Greg Schiano has brought Gavin Wimsatt in. Now, they haven't accorded QB Derby, and they got a new defense coordinator who came from Maine to Minnesota to coaching defense. Look, if you don't give Gavin Wimsatt some snaps, I'm going to have some things to say about it because I watched that man drop dimes. He's one of the better quarterbacks to ever commit and play football at Rutgers. Give that man control of the offense, Sean Gleason. I use Sean Gleason's full name because I remember him for the year at Oklahoma State. Then he went back home, right? He came from Princeton. He wanted to get back home. I understand that. Get this man the keys. Let me see what Gavin Wimsatt do with it. Okay? Give him the ball and watch what he do with it. Now, the over-under situation for our brethren in Piscataway is 4.5. I'm picking 5 here. Okay? I'm picking 5 here because I'm looking at your non-conference schedule. You got at Boston College, that's Jeff Hafley's squad. Phil Jurkovich coming back. It's going to be tough. That's a tough game. I don't know that that's one I would put on your schedule, but I understand it being on your schedule, and I understand the regionality of it and how many. I did not realize how many children grow up in like Connecticut or thereabouts that want to go to BC. Somebody gonna have to educate me about the Eagles because outside of Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, and my man Flutie, I don't have a whole hell of a lot to go on that, man. Y'all gonna have to let your boy know what it is about wanting to go to college at BC. But you get that game, right? And then you got Wagner. Don't lose to Wagner. Y'all gonna win, but don't lose to Wagner. Don't do that. And then you're at Temple. That's tough. You have to win, but it's tough. You go 2-1 with that schedule. I'm asking you to get 3 wins. 3 wins. 3 over the course of 4 months. 3 in the Big Ten. That's it. You get to 5. And 5 is 1 away from 6, which would actually make you bowl eligible as opposed to being the next team up when somebody else gets COVID. Because I understand they play in the bowl game, but there's that asterisk next to it. I just want y'all to get in there for real. I don't want to be the only national dude talking about Rutgers football, Scarlet Knights. Don't do that to me. You have more respect for me than that. I know you do. Okay? The folks in Texas, San Antonio got more respect for me than that. I'm just saying. I'm gonna shout you out. I'm laying it out here. I picked you. Don't let your boy down. Okay? Let's go get this. 5. That's all I'm asking for. 5 wins. All right. Teams who will underachieve in the Big Ten is where we got to go next. All right. Now, as much as I just spent a lot of time talking about how good I need Rutgers to be, I am going to go ahead and tell you I don't expect the Big Ten Conference champions to repeat. I don't think that Michigan is going to be good enough with the schedule that they have right here, right now, to get to 10 wins. We're talking about 9.5. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay? You got to get to 10. You got to get to 10 in the regular season, man. All right. Let's start with their non-conference schedule. Colorado State, you ought to win. Hawaii, you ought to win. UConn, you ought to win. Now, that's 3, right? But you got to get 7. You got to get 7 of your next 9 in Ann Arbor to get the over on this. One of those games against Ohio State, and they are out for blood. They want you. They're no longer overlooking you. You embarrassed them last year. Like that's one. Michigan State feels like they got you. They got you last year. They returned a bunch from last year. Now, Kenneth Walker, we understand, but I like Jalen Berger. I like Jared Broussard. I think both of those dudes can tote the rock. Peyton Thorne coming into his own. He understands that it's him now, right? It's him and Jaden Reed. You get a little bit of play out of Scotty Hazelton's defense, that's tough too. You still got to play Penn State, who's also going to be coming after you. They want your whole body. They don't want a piece. They want the whole thing, Bob Barker style. I'm saying, I just don't see you getting to 10. 9, 8, easy. Think that's easy money for you. 10, you got to get back to the Big Ten championship game. You're going to win 10 games, all right? That means you got to get past all those teams that I just mentioned. And then you got to do what you did to Iowa last year. And I don't think that's going to be that simple. All right. Next team that we're talking about just a little bit on the teams I think are underachieved, Penn State. Look, there's just a lot that Penn State is on the verge of, but not there with. Put another way, I don't think of Ohio State as being on the verge of having a good passing attack. You know what I mean? I just know it. You know, like a law, as immutable as gravity. Okay? I just know it. It's gonna be all right. You're on the verge of a great run game. Guys like Nick Singleton, talk a little bit later on. You're on the verge of a great quarterback play because Sean Clifford discovers this form for 3 years ago. It'll be there, kind of like Minnesota and Tanner Morgan. You're on the verge of putting together back-to-back great years from defense, but you lost your defensive coordinator to a better job. Good for him. Good for Coach Pry, who's going to be coordinating Virginia Tech. But the verge doesn't get you to 9 wins. Okay? We're looking at 8.5 here. You got Ohio. Bobcats, you ought to win. All right? You ought to win. Give them their money. You're at Auburn. Okay. Can you double that one up? Because I would really love for you to double that one up. Because a lot of us got a lot of mileage out of, the Big Ten showed up to the SEC West and said, what's really good? Well, it was really good. But now you got to go down to Auburn in what is going to be a prove-it year for our man, Brian Harsin. When we get to the SEC preview, it's going to be something different, dog. Like, we have so many things to discuss over there. A lot of it having to do with Auburn. And then you got Central Michigan. Jim McElwain has this game circled. I guarantee it. He can't wait to bring his Chippewas over to CU in Happy Valley. All right? James Franklin got that long, large extension. Folks at Penn State going to want him to live up to his end. Okay? His end means not winning 9 games. It means winning Big Ten championships. It means making the college football playoff. All right? You get to 9 wins, you can have all that. I just see it as difficult. It's hard. You play in the second most difficult division in all of college football. Great for me. Great for me as a college football fan, college football analyst. I love watching great football. Not necessarily great for you because we're not going to talk about the 3rd best team, 4th best team in the Big Ten East. It's not what it's going to be. All right? Okay. From the teams who will overachieve, underachieve, we go to the best bet to put money in the bag. All right. Again, one of our favorite segments all of last year, keeper segment for this year. When a team goes and put the money in the bag and robs you of your W, we will talk about it right here on the #1 Ranked Show. I have lots of fun getting into my Malcolm X and letting people know that you thought that you was paying for a W, but what you were paying for was a butt kicking. All right. So I looked through the non-conference schedule. I'm circling, that's a good FCS team. That's a good G5 team. Ooh, that's not a great Power 5 team. Ooh, that's a money in the bag candidate. That's how we get here. So I settled, in this instance, on 2. Okay? We only had 1 for the Big 12. We got 2 for the Big 10. South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, at Iowa, getting paid $600,000 for the privilege if they are able to pull this off. Now, those of y'all that don't know, like, the Jackrabbits were good last year, and they had one of the better tailbacks, Pierre Strong, in all of college football. I said as much right here on the #1 Ranked Show when we do the NFL draft stuff. Come on, man. You know all I do is eat, sleep, and do this sport. Of course I'm watching FCS football, especially high-quality FCS football. I don't know that I want the Jackrabbits on my schedule coming to Kinnick, but Kinnick ain't no joke. Like, I've never been to Kinnick, but I've been to Iowa Fans. And going to Iowa Fans is an experience. Okay? When you understand ain't nothing there but corn and football, yeah, you put a lot into the Hawkeyes. You put a lot into the Hawkeyes, and you know what? They get a lot out of them Hawkeyes. Iowa fans on par with Mountaineer fans. You just don't want it with them. Like, one day we're going to have an Among the Thugs conversation right here on the Number One Ranked Show, and we're going to talk about firms, and we're going to talk about what that means in European football, and you're going to be like, oh, we got those. They're illegal in the United States, or so you thought, right? I'm saying Iowa fans go hard. You don't want no problems with no Iowa fans, all right? I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm saying that I think if you're making money in the bag bets, go ahead, put the jackrabbits over there to the side, put you a little $20 on them, see if they make you a little bit of money, along with their $600,000 for the privilege. All right, next team I want to take a look at here is Southern Illinois, traveling to Northwestern. They're going to get $550,000 for the privilege. Shout out to Hero Sports, where they have these payouts listed. And also, my man, Steve Berkowitz, who does great work at USA Today, going to get these open records requests. But the Salukis probably looking at Northwestern going, y'all don't even know what the quarterback is, do you? Okay. Is your defense going to be any good? Because I saw Brandon Joseph, he over at Notre Dame now. Greg Newsome, he was drafted 2 years ago. Like, y'all got something else? What else y'all got? Because we feel like we can go over there, we can roll up into your little your Ivy adjacent, and we can snatch your lunch money, because that's what you do to the dudes with the pocket protectors. You go up on them and you say, empty your pockets. Okay? Now, Northwestern, they're used to that. They're used to people walking up on them going, empty your pockets, and them going, nah, I'm going to catch this, right in the eye, and then they am at the Big Ten West Championship. We'll see. Or I should say the Big Ten Championship representing the Big Ten West. But South Dakota State at Iowa, Southern Illinois at Northwestern. I think that's going to be a lot of fun if either one of those teams is able to go and put the money in the bag. Thanks for watching this video, and remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos on the Number One Ranked Show YouTube channel.